Hello, this is Bogdan Ripa, and this is a demo of Genezio. As you probably know, Genezio is a function as a service platform deployed on bare metal servers, which leads to really, really good performance and scalability. As a customer, what I would do is, when I land on the genezio.com landing page, I would probably click on Start for Free to get started with the platform. This is where I sign in. We're going to skip through that, obviously. And then once I've started, I can choose to either deploy an existing project that I might have or start with one of my templates. For the sake of this demo, I will start with one of the templates, and then we can go over importing an existing project as well. We do support a variety of technologies, from Node.js technology, Next applications, Express applications, just pure HTML websites, Nitro applications, and so on, to Python applications and so on. In this demo, I will focus on one such application. I will go with expressjs. I will build a full stack application on expressjs. So we will click on that icon. I can deploy on GitHub, on my own personal GitHub account, or without GitHub. So this is just going to create a copy of that project in my Genezio account. We'll go ahead with GitHub. I will obviously have to sign in and authorize my GitHub account, which I've already done. And I give my repository a name, my project a name. I can create the repository privately or not. And I can also choose a region. I will choose Europe for now because I'm in Europe and I want to be as close as possible to the deployment. Obviously, you would choose something as close as possible to your customers in this case. Now the project is being deployed on the Genezio infrastructure. We have a build server in the background that goes and starts building the project and starts actually deploying it. Now that the project was deployed, you can see here I already have a URL that was assigned to me where my frontend was deployed, and I can open the application directly. We can see here the application. We can actually go ahead and start testing it. My name is Bogdan. I say hello, and it's going to respond, hello, Bogdan. This is a response served from Frankfurt, which is where my server has been deployed in Germany and this is the local time in Frankfurt right now. Good. Everything works fine so far. We go back to the Genezio platform. This is where we can see a code editor interface. So right here in my browser, I can start making changes to my project. I can see here that I have two folders, client and server. On the server side, here's my application. It's an expressjs application. So basically, for those understanding expressjs, it is what you would expect. There's two routes here, / that says hello from Express, and then a /hello route, okay, that we're exposing. It's pretty straightforward. And then on my client side, we can see here that we have a React.js application with an input text. When I call this say hello function, it's going to actually fetch my URL, which is my server URL /hello ? Name equals my name. It's going to wait for the response and then display the response. So this is a pretty simple application, a pretty basic application that was deployed right now on the Genezio infrastructure. Remember, this is a serverless infrastructure, so it scales up and down automatically with the based on your needs. Now, let me walk you through a few of the functionalities that we are exposing. First of all, there's this inline code editor, in-browser code editor. You can come in here, you can modify the code, and once you've modified the code, you can go ahead and commit and deploy. What that will do is actually commit to my GitHub repository, and then a deploy will automatically get triggered. We're not going to go over that. Trust me, this is how it happens. I can also clone this whole thing locally. So I can clone my repository that was just created for me locally on my local machine. Once I've done that, we have a CLI, a command line interface that you can use. You can do things like run Genezio local, which will run both your client and your server locally on your machine. And this is how we see most customers doing development. And when you're done, you can simply git commit your code and push the code to GitHub. And once that's done, your project is automatically linked to a CI/CD pipeline, and your project will be automatically redeployed on your on the Genezio infrastructure. We also do have support for multiple environments. So if you're working within a team, if somebody creates a pull request, a new environment will be automatically created so that you can test it, you can share it with your colleagues, and when it's done, when you merge it back, it's going to be merged back into production and automatically be redeployed. So all those CI/CD pipelines, they're automatically taken care of. You don't have to worry about those. But then as a developer, it's nice. You have a client side. By the way, the client, everything that's on the client side is automatically CDN for you. So you don't have to think about, going and, paying extra money for a CDN and deploying your code on the CDN and worrying about, how do you do updates and so on. We automatically do that for you. So the server side automatically scales. The client side is CDN. So it's close to where your customers are, right? So this is just one, another capability that we offer out of the box. But these projects usually need more than just, a client side and a server side and a CDN and so on. You usually need things like, let's say, a database, right? So whenever you need that, Genezio comes with actually 3 free database instances that you can use with your projects. And what you can do is with any project that you have, you can go ahead and create databases. We do support SQL databases and NoSQL databases right now on multiple regions. And you can create your database. It's just very simple, one click away. You create it, and then you can use it directly in your project. Let's say let's link this database as an example. It's a Postgres database, and you can see it right now. It is connected to my my account. I can see here my connection URL. I can see here code instance of how I would go about using that database. We also have things like schema editor and database data editor for your database automatically, again, out of the box. You don't have to worry about this at all. Let's go through these tabs a bit. Besides databases, we also, you can attach a custom domain to your application. We provide a domain out of the box, but obviously most people want to use a custom domain for their applications. And we have support for things like environment variables, as you would expect. There's multiple integrations that we come with. For example, if you want to use Redis, we have that out of the box. You just need to enable that integration. If you are building an application that is based on queues, again, we have that out of the box as well. That works just fine. We also provide some additional services. One such service is an authentication service. With the authentication service, what that means is that if you have an application where your users need to sign in, it's very easy to implement that capability. As you can see here, I can say, yeah, I want to enable email authentication, and this is, obviously they will be able to come in and provide their email and passwords and create accounts and so on. You can also do Google authentication. We also support that out of the box. We also have an email service. So if your application needs to send emails to yourself or to your customers, you can also do that out of the box. And in the future, we will be providing more services and more integrations as you would expect. On top of that, we do have a test interface where I can come in and I can actually go and test the functions that I have deployed on the Genezio infrastructure. Also logs interface, so I can come in here and see, what functions were called when, and this is just the one that I've called earlier, obviously. You can easily dig into that with a lot of filtering capabilities and so on. Now we have a monitoring interface where you can see, the number of invocation, bandwidth use, and so on. So this is an overview of your project. You can collaborate, meaning that you can invite other people to the same project, and multiple people can work together. And you can see your deployment history. So whenever you have a new commit, a new push on your GitHub repo, in this particular case, you will be able to see that deployment here happening, and with all the deployment details as you would expect. So I think, in a nutshell, this is how you would get started with Genezio, and this is a very quick overview of what we offer in terms of features and capabilities at this point. In the next video, I'm going to talk a bit about importing an existing project. So let's say you have an existing project and you want to import it on Genezio. How would you go about that? And with that, I'd like to thank you and keep watching.